What is going on, everyone? Welcome back on BlockGems. Today we're going to talk about Treeverse and the bearish case and the bullish case for this particular project. But before we jump into the content, guys, please remember to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and also go ahead and collect the Outlook for 2022 for the entire NFT space, a document that I have created, that I have written and made available to you for free. You can find this document in the Discord community, which you can find a link to in the description down below. So let's go ahead and discuss Treeverse. I wanted to start from quantitative data, and then we will talk about the narrative aspect. But first of all, let's talk about the quantitative data. I want to discuss this quantitative information next to another project, okay? So next to NFT worlds. And the reason why I want to do that is because we can understand things often just in a comparative matter, right? So we understand what something means only when we compare it to something similar of a rather similar nature, so to speak. Now, if we look at Treeverse, one of the things that you notice here is that the amount of wallets that hold any tokens from Treeverse versus the total supply is not that great. Because ideally, and we talked about this many times already, you want to have as a fair distribution as possible. You want to have a token that is distributed as good as possible amongst the holders for a number of reasons, and I've discussed many of these reasons already. I will tell you one more. If there are many holders for a particular token, if the distribution is particularly well spread across a huge number of people, then you have walk-in advertisements basically for that project. You have more people that are talking about a given project. And if we compare Treeverse with NFT worlds, we see that, for instance, here we are looking at 3,800 wallets. Here we're looking at 4,500 wallets. Now, keep in mind that these projects are comparable for a number of reasons, and I'll tell you two or three. These are both metaverse projects with a play-to-earn dynamic, or at least a play-to-earn narrative now in place, because apparently this is what they want to build, both of them. Both of them are sort of a land first or real estate first kind of project, at least as of now. And the reason for this is because everything is sort of stemming out from this original token, which in the case of NFT world is a word, and in the case of Treeverse is a founder's plot. But in both cases, the token that originated the entire story and the entire project is a piece of land. In both cases, of course, it's a game that they're trying to build, right? So this is why I decided to compare these two projects. Now, if we look at the metric of how many wallets are holding it and the distribution, Treeverse is not as good as NFT worlds. However, if we look at how many of these items are listed, so how many of these tokens are listed for sale, in the case of Treeverse, we're looking at 3.61. In the case of NFT worlds, we're looking at 5.16. This basically means that there are fewer people in the case of Treeverse that are bearish about it, because otherwise they would hold tight. They would say, I don't want to list it for sale. I want to keep it for me, and I'm not looking for extra liquidity right now. So this is an interesting fact. Now, I want to go after, now that we talked about a little bit of quantitative information. And by the way, guys, you can pause the video and also check out the other information. But one of the things that I wanted to discuss together with you guys is the narrative, more qualitative stuff, so to speak. And one story that I consider particularly important is basically this article from December 19th, where the founders explain not everything, of course, but very, very important information. They disclose about a lot of things regarding this project, from the art, the style that they chose for the character, the animations, and the fact that they are striving to achieve an extreme amount of quality. So this is not a great thing to begin with. Okay, it's not because I want to build something that is great, fantastic, with an immense amount of quality that I will succeed at it. It just means that they are very ambitious about this project, and they are already showing some developments of their vision, say, in their vision. Now, there are also many technical information for those that are interested, but also an important piece of information is about how much money, how much capital they have raised, and what they want to do with it. How much they're growing their team, the kind of people that they need to hire, who they're hiring, etc. And I need to say that I found the information disclosed in the article pretty convincing, and it made me look at this project with a positive bias, so to speak. Another interesting piece of information comes from this thread here. I will link in the description down below together with the rest of the information, where sure, some information is repeated, but in general here, the main founder, basically the CEO of the project, discloses a little bit more about his vision and his philosophy. So why they decided to create Treeverse the way it is, the way it's taking form, it's taking shape, and all the reasons behind it. And some of the things that I liked and that I resonated with is the fact that they wanted to build an MMORPG in a particular way because the market is very stagnant. They wanted to revolutionize this space. This also explains why they're so ambitious with capital allocation, with team building and all that. And there's a bunch of information here that you can go ahead and read for yourself. But one particular piece of information that I want to pose your attention onto is this tweet here, which is a reply. And it is around where they want to build the ecosystem, right? So the assets, but also the currencies that will be used in game. And here the reply was looking at layer 2s, so Ether. Of course, now you may think, of course, they're building everything in layer 2 because Ethereum has reached capacity now. But the reality is that there are a bunch of solutions that are available. For instance, if you look at Axie Infinity, they decided to build their own blockchain with Ronin to scale their ecosystem and the amount of users that they could tolerate as a game. And there are some other solutions out there. There is also the solution of Gala Games with Mirandus and with Townstar. So, in my opinion, as bullish as I am on the narrative for layer 2, this is something that I wanted to find, basically. This is a type of information that for a project that is in the play-to-earn narrative, it's something that I like to see. If you guys, for instance, download the report that I mentioned earlier that you can find in the Discord community, you will see why, and you will see the details about why I'm so bullish on layer 2 plays. Now, this is for the bullish case, in case you haven't noticed. For the bearish case, I believe that this video produced by the Nifty Alpha, and by the way, a big shout out to Pio and the rest of the Nifty Alpha team. I believe that there is a good example of the bearish case. Now, I will not go in the details of why they believe this was a good sell, actually, at the point they sold, and it was 1 month ago. And I hope I will not butcher their arguments, but in short, the number one concern that is there and that I also have is that it might take too long of a time to develop this game. And this is absolutely a fair concern, because in the meantime, in the meanwhile that they developed the game, it might happen that another game that is still in development takes the spotlight, takes the attention, and also as the attention moves, as the spotlight moves, also money will flow toward that new game, okay? That's the first thing. Second thing, they are very ambitious, and at the time of recording this video, there was absolutely no information or very, very limited information about what the team was doing with all that money that they gathered. And also a very interesting point is that typically these games of similar kind are not as well funded as this one, and they tend to deliver in shorter time frames. So of course you need to evaluate these in the light of the fact that they are very ambitious, that they want to revolutionize the MMO RPG space. And so this is also something to take into account. But in general, guys, I hope that this video was useful for you to conduct your own researches. And if that is the case, please remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. I thank you very much for your time, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.